As a child, you would wait and watch from far away, but you always knew that you'd be the one that would while they all play. And you'd lay awake at night and scheme of all the things that you would change, but it was just a dream from dust. From dust.
Three, two, one. Keep pushing, keep pushing. In face lap. You can do it. It's 4.7 seconds. 5.6 seconds. It's a one of a kind. Only the DTM. Yes, man, you did it. Thank you, guys. Go, 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 go. Yeah!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here on GTD Sim Racing TV. I'm Andrea Fretti here with my usual friend Edoardo Pavoni. Hi Edoardo, how are you doing tonight?
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here for the third round of the Women's Championship 2022. We've seen a great battle in the first two rounds and a domination by Saradov, who, of course, this evening will try to defend her first place. And I think I enjoyed, personally, the first three races. And what do you think about them? Are you ready for this third round?
Yeah, for sure. We had a lot of action in the first two rounds. Now we are heading in Japan, in the Far East, in the circuit of Suzuka, one of the, I think, most beautiful circuit around the world. I personally enjoy this circuit a lot. And I also want to say that we are not in two tonight, but we have also our friend Alessandro Caccioli here with us that you are not seeing at the moment. Hi, Alessandro.
Hi everyone, thank you very much. It's again a pleasure for me to be here with you tonight to see in Japan what these girls are going to do. I'm expecting a very, very evening on fire.
Yeah, tonight for sure, like the livery we are seeing now, hot and spicy. So tonight will be, I think, like that, like what is written on that livery, with already great time. First place for Roberta Lesca in 2 minutes 1.2, followed by Sarah Johnson. But the one that everyone is looking tonight probably is Saradov, who is the winner of the first two rounds, basically, because we have a single round 60 minutes race in Silverstone with the rain. Then we have a double round in Monza, with Sarah Dove that came in first place in all the three of the occasions, Edo.
Yeah, of course, as we said at the beginning, really domination by Saradov, but we've seen some great performances also by Roberta Leska, who had some unfortunate events, and I'm really sure that today she will try to fight back and, of course, try to win the race and to recover some points in terms of the championship.
Yeah, for sure. She had one of the greatest pace in Monza, and tonight from what I'm seeing, she wants to start again in the first positions because now she's improving by more than half a second. It's already a great time, these 2 minutes 1.2, but for sure she can go a lot faster, and we are seeing it in this fantastic lap with the BMW as we are seeing in the images tonight. But now Saradov, here she is, the first time below 2 minutes and 1, exactly half a second faster than Roberta Leska. She was the most dominant in the past rounds, and she wants for sure to prove that she's the best also here. But for sure, she's not. Her life won't be so easy tonight.
Yeah, be careful because Roberta Leska is improving quite a bit and might take the front row. She's already in the front row, but she might improve and go to... Yeah, she stays in second place, but she should, less than 2/10 of a second. So the battle is on. We are only at the beginning of this qualifying, but I think the drivers are already pushing. And as we've seen in the previous ones, Saradova and Roberta Leska are doing a different job at the beginning of the qualifying. Also, if Johnson improved and she's the third fastest, 4/10 behind Saradov, but by the way, we've seen a great battle only at the beginning of the qualifying.
Yes, it's already the start. Tonight there are not all the drivers in the race, only 16, probably due to St. Valentine's Day. Probably someone is out with their boyfriend, probably. But we are still here to have this commentary with these fantastic races that we are seeing each 2 weeks. And for sure, we are seeing spectacular races because the level is still very high. We have seen some great times, some great battles around the different tracks. And in each tracks, there has been quite a difficulty. The first round in Silverstone was the most simple one because there were a simple day. There were no rain, no atmospherical events. Then we have the double round in Monza with the rain. That Monza is a kind of tricky track, even if it has a low number of corners. We are seeing accident over there. Not the best way to start here. Ator and Witcher that has a little bit of contact, I think, over there.
Yeah.
And now we are seeing the qualifiers that are running in the afternoon. But then with the race, we start at 8 p.m. So probably it will start with some lights. But in the 60 minutes race, it will end, I think, with the complete dark. So that's also a thing that the drivers must keep in mind, that the race will be in the dark. So they must be very careful and they use their ability to perform at their best.
Of course, we've seen a very difficult race. Two races in Monza. Very particular track, very with high-speed corners and along straights. But be careful, because Saradov is absolutely flying on her flying lap, because she's almost half a second faster than her current pole position. So if the director can help us, but now we are with Erwin, who is improving and might take fifth place, but no, she goes into the pits. So let's go to Saradov. Here we are in the final sector, already past the spoon corner. Now we're going through the 130R, a very difficult corner. In Formula 1 they do it flat out. I don't know, Andre, if they're doing flat out also here. Maybe.
Yeah. No, she left her foot a little bit because you must. There is no such an aerodynamics help here with the GT3 cars as in F1, but you have to lift a little bit your foot to run through that corner at the best. But now she's flying in her lap. Let's see if she can get any faster 2 minutes,
Oh,
2 minutes and two. That's a very great lap because he's 700 faster than Roberta Leska in second position. So already a great lap by Saradov that she still proving she's the best around here, and the other contenders must prove that this is wrong. But the race will be very long because we have 1 hour race, and she needs also to prove she has the pace to stay in the front.
7 tenths faster than Roberta Leska. Incredible. She's already improving on her lap time. She's currently on the final corner, goes onto the straight, might stay in second place, maybe half a second slower than Saradov. She crosses the line now and she stays half a second slower than Saradov. A stunning lap by Saradov, the championship leader, who is currently pushing over the limits, and she's still improving while we're running to the 7 minutes remaining of this qualifying. Roberta Leska is improving on the first sector, but might not be enough to take pole position, and Sarah Johnson stays third fastest, 1 second slower than the leader of the session. Then Rhea Palma, fourth fastest, 1.7 seconds behind. So I think the battle for the win might be between Saradov and Roberta Leska. Also, if Sarah is flying, like we've seen in the previous rounds. Also, if in Monza Leska took the pole position.
Yeah, Leska took the pole position, then she had a kind of unfortunate race. She had a little bit of contact with the lap car and she lost all her position and went to the back of the group. That was very unfortunate. But for sure, she wants to prove she can perform better here. Because there is 1 hour race and she's also very close to Saradov. She's currently in second position, also improving her time. But now we are seeing Huflar that is in 8th position, improving also her time. Let's see if here around the final corner can improve a little bit. And yeah, she's improving a lot here, but probably will gain 1 or 2 position. Let's see where she will end.
Maybe P5, P6, maybe P6 might get P6, but she didn't improve. Maybe
maybe
invalidated.
Yeah, probably the lap was invalidated, but let's stay with Roberta Leska that is improving 3 tenths, and she's getting very closer to the time of Saradov. But let's see if she can get any better. She's improving a little bit again, but won't be, I think, as good to be in pole position. Let's see how she will end.
1.5, I think. 1 tenth and a half might take. No, 2 tenths and a half.
2 tenths and a half. Yeah, she still a great lap. She will go into the pits probably now. But yeah, we are seeing so much fight in the last rounds. Let's see if already also tonight we can see also more, because for sure, even if we are seeing women that we usually think and as calm and quiet, now they are proving every day, every race we are seeing that they want to be at the front. They want to fight as hard as they can to stay in the front.
Of course, and be careful too. Sophie Ehrman, who's improving, might take fourth place. Might take the fourth place of Roberta Palma, so might get the second row of the starting grid. While Witcher goes sixth fastest, 1.8 behind. Well, I'd ask to Alessandro, who I know had driven here with some different cars. What is if you like the circuit, the beginning, and what is your favorite part? What do you think about it?
It's a massive circuit, Suzuka. When I drive here in Japan, I obviously pay attention to the first sector. As we seen, we have the first turn is a little banked turn and then we have the S curves that are about 5 curves on the left, on the right, on the left, on the right. Then again, it's a very tricky first sector, I think, and could be more tricky with the naked cars, because here with the GT3 cars, we have less downforce than a F1 car. So here it could be very difficult for the drivers to maintain a very correct, I think, track on the course. So I think that it's very tricky, the first sector, for these girls tonight. And Saradov is going very well as always with this time. But I would like to see Roberta, our Italian girl, in the first position tonight. Yes,
We see.
I'm dreaming about a winner with Roberta Lesca.
We will see. We will see 2 minutes and a half remaining at the end of this qualifying session. Neither Dova, neither Leska are currently running and improving her lap times. Maybe they're going through the preparation lap before the
No,
last
they are
shot. They're in the
they're,
pits.
they're in the pits yet. You can see that they have no the green. They don't have the green bar. What happened? Okay.
Oh, she's going.
She's going out
outside now.
now. Yes,
Lap.
she probably is getting the last lap. Let's follow her in the first corners of the track. One of the most iconic sector of this track, called the Snake. There are these 4 corners, one next to the other. Very difficult to stay here on the track, like was Alessandro saying. And it's a very, very tricky sector when you can improve or lose a lot if you are not careful enough.
Well, and we have, I think, a huge. Well, Roberta Leska stayed in the pits. She's not going to do her final lap, so she might start on the front row.
Yeah, she might start on the front row, but she needs to be careful because maybe in the back someone can get an improvement on the times. At the moment, she seems quite safe looking at the time now, but probably most of the drivers will have another lap to perform their final result. Here we see Saradov with the yellow flag, but again, yeah, we are seeing her back there. She just slowed down to let the other car pass. And she needs to be a little quicker because it's around 1 minute at the end of the session, so she needs to start speeding up to get at the end of the lap to make the last one.
Yeah, of course,
So-
because we've seen the yellow flag, so maybe she did also a mistake. I think Roberta Leska might stay in second place. I don't see anyone who's improving so much to get the second place. Maybe Sarah Johnson we will see on her final lap, but yeah, of course, now we are waiting to the end of the qualifying. I think she's improving quite a lot. Sophie Ehrman, who is 6/10 fastest and might take the third place. So second row, she is currently on second row, might take the third place of this qualifying. And Arthur goes fourth fastest, 1.2 behind Saradov, and Saradov is currently starting a final flying lap.
In the meantime, as Antonio is writing in our chat. First of all, let's say hello to all our viewers here tonight with us. And Roberta Leska will be soon part of GDD Sim Racing TV because she will from this Friday start a new podcast, let's say, with us, and we'll have this talk show with us to talk about sim racing with great guests. So stay with us also on Friday for our Italian viewers, most of all, because for sure it will be in Italian. So stay with us because there are a lot of things that will start soon.
Of course. So good luck to Roberta Leska, who's starting her career here in GDD Sim Racing TV. And now we're going to the end of this qualifying. I see that Johnson took the checkered flag. Roman is not improving, so we'll start third. Roberta Leska is in the pits, so maybe Sardov could improve on her lap time. Just at the end of qualifying, she's already on pole, but of course she wants to improve till the end. And I'd like to say huge congratulations, as we've said in the previous lives, to the GTD Dynamics, who created the graphics of the race we are seeing, with the gap that helps us to see the improvement of the drivers, like we've seen now Saradov, who's gone a little bit too much aggressive, I think, on the curb before the final corner, and she's still doing the same lap time that took her on pole, so she would have been on pole anyway, and she took the pole position once again. Saradov, the championship leader, is on pole here for the third round in Suzuka. So, Andre, I'd launch a spot, and then maybe we can stay there to the start of the race, the third round. So a spot, and we are back here.
Keep pushing. this lap. You can do it. It's 4.7 seconds. 5.6 seconds. It's a one of a kind, only in the DTM. Yes, man, you did it. Thank you, guys.
Signore e signori, buonasera e bentornati su GDD Sim Racing TV.
Buonasera signore e signori, buonasera amici di GDD Sim Racing TV.
Siamo qui per un evento molto particolare organizzato da URT.
Io sono Edoardo Pavoni e questa sera vi accompagnerò appunto per questo Gran Premio di...
Può essere polla questa! Ed è polla! Divento di primo!
Termine della qualifica e lo fa subito. Pole position 1.57, 369. Rifila.
Vediamo, ed è pole position 54 257.
Cosa arriva adesso sul traguardo Provò per rimanere secondo.
Clemente è partito molto bene, è partito anche Nossa, anche prende subito la scia.
Si parte bandiera verde. Si parte bandiera verde, adesso Sartore quasi affiancato, ma un buonissimo spunto di...
Francesco acquista pace, percorre il rettilineo, inizia a spanalare.
Kevin Taddei vince la gara Monza, Christmas Event, Gino.
So we are back here. This race will start very, very soon. We are starting the formation lap in this moment. Let's see now how the race will be. Here is the formation lap starting, and as our Antonio was reminding, also another appointment for this week, because tomorrow me and Edoardo and Nicolas will not be in this side of the race. We will be racing, so stay tuned with us on the second channel of GDD that I hope you already follow. If not, you will have the link here and there in the chat, so follow also there, and we will race in the colors of GDD tomorrow, so stay tuned. But let's get back with this race. As we are seeing, it's in the night. We see already the dark that is going on the track, and for sure it adds something also more magical to this race, Edo.
Yeah, of course, during the spot, the director told us that there was dark, but not so dark. I mean, I can't see anything, so I think it's pretty dark. By the way, it's gonna be a nice race, because I don't know if of course, the temperature will be different, so we will see also the feeling with the car, how it will be. And yeah, I've seen, I don't know if I'm right or not, before the starting of the formation lap, there was a hole between, I think, was fourth place, so a car was missing, and now I'm seeing on the standings that there are 15 drivers and not 16, so maybe someone had a problem.
I think that was Yvonne Hufler that is missing now. That we saw her earlier in the qualifiers, but she's not in the race now. So probably she had some difficulty. Let's see if she can try to join back in the race, but I'm not sure about it. We will see. In the meantime, let's have a look on the track here with the one of the slowest corner of the circuit, the hairpin. Then heading in the final sector of the race, one of the fastest sector, because we have the two left corners that must be run at quite high speed, and then you need to go very, very fast down the last straight heading into 130R. So one of the most iconic tracks of the iconic corners of the tracks with the initial snake. So for sure, one of the most wonderful track around the world. As I already say, I really, really like this track, and I hope tonight we will see a great battle between those drivers.
Of course, I agree with you, and I think in such a technical track and difficult track, because it's full of corners, technical ones, and with not such an overtaking spots, where do you think the drivers are going to maybe try and overtake? I think maybe one opportunity might be the hairpin, maybe, yeah, the last corner. I don't know. What do you think? Maybe this one, or do you have some...
No, here is very, very difficult because you're almost flat out on the throttle. But I think the key was to will be to drive very, very clean, and to use all the mistakes made by the other drivers to get any chance to overtake, because that will be the key part of the race. But we are heading into the last corner, so leaving here to you for the start of the race.
Yeah, we're going through the last corner, so green light is gonna arrive soon, and the drivers are going very close to each other to start the race as close as they can on the driver in front, and maybe try and overtake before turn 1, because then it's gonna be very difficult. And now they're going through the dark on the main straight, and the main line is gonna arrive soon, so the lights are gonna be green as soon as possible. And now let's release the lions also for the girls, and let's start this third round of the Women Championship 2022. They're going now, and their start, green lights. So really good start from Saradova, and Roberta Lesca stays on the left. Then also Arwen takes all the slipstream from Roberta Lesca, but she stays the third fastest. A great start from the drivers. There is a contact between Roberta Lesca and Sophia Arwen. She tries to keep on the track, and she stays on the track now, but there's arriving behind. There is a huge crash behind, and some drivers are yeah. Big one.
Yeah, Alpha of the Grid is in yellow flag with Saradov that already got a big advantage, because 2.5 seconds here at the start is very, very huge advantage. But someone happened in the back. Let's see if we can have the replay. But no, probably not. So let's get back to the race. With what's going on? They're having some issues now, so we will get back to the race here with Camoirano, that now is having a huge advantage with respect to the others in the back, but she's still somehow very in late with the first two, with the Saradov that already got a huge advantage.
Yeah, of course, we've seen a nice start at the beginning, then a huge crash. We have not seen how it was created, but of course, some drivers are in the back of the grid right now, and I'm surprised that Roberta Lesca is not one of them, as we've seen in the previous rounds. This time, even if she had a contact, she stays in second place.
Yeah, let's see if we have some view of the replay here. What was going on? Probably after the contact here, something happened. Yeah, that's the first crash with Sarah Johnson, and unfortunately, everyone that was in the back followed again against them.
Yeah, not a good one, not a great start. Then it's gonna be very difficult to regain some places. It's not like what we've seen in Monza, so there are not gonna be two races. And now Maria Kuchova goes into the pits. We will see if she had damage or she's gonna retire from the race. Of course, yeah, not a great start. Maybe the biggest incident we've seen so far in this championship, Andre, but by the way, now the race is gonna be long, so we will see how we will end up. Of course, now looking to the standings, Saradov created a gap from 3.1 seconds. Roberta Lesca stays second with 1.3 of advantage on Ator. Then we will have to see if also Roberta, maybe Ator had some kind of damage, because at the beginning I've seen a contact between them, but we will see. Now Leska is flying with the same gap from Sarazov. Now she's losing quite a bit. I don't know. We will see, but looks like she shouldn't have such a great damage, I think.
Yeah, she shouldn't have so much damage because she had just a little contact that she managed to keep the car in the track with that great drift in the second corner of the track. But she, for the moment, is staying basically at the same distance to Saradov, but the race is very, very long, 56 minutes now till the end. And mandatory pit already to be done by basically everyone in the race, apart for the last two drivers, Krychkova and Rangster, that are now exiting the pit in this moment. In the meantime, probably some out of the track for Pierce that is now being overtaken by both Sarah Johnson and Fair. So she lost two places here, probably mistakes by her. We see also her car is not in a perfect condition, so probably she needs to get to the pit to make a repair. Also, it, I think, will be very tricky here because probably in an hour race you can do it without changing the tires, but at the end will be very, very hard to keep the car, because here the tires are used quite a lot. So probably most of the drivers will try to have a mid-race pit stop also for changing the tires, or probably where they will try to last as long as they could to get at the end of the race to the pit to just load the less fuel as possible to make the mandatory pit. But now we see that Roberta Lesca is 2 seconds, has gained more than a second to Saradov in this moment.
Yeah, she gained some time on Saradov, maybe a mistake by the driver in front, because I see the gap is increasing again, but I was looking to the standings of the championship, so we'll see. Saradov in first place with 255 points, second Hedda Rangster in second place with 218, and she's currently 15th, so she's the last one of this race. Not a great start in terms of the championship points, and of course she had to recover some position to gain as much points as she can, because it's gonna be a very difficult race for the championship right now.
Yeah, probably she needs to stay focused to get as much position as she could, because now she is very, very far from the first position, so she needs to recover this race. But now they are really, really close here in the back between ranks that already overtook Pierce in just a moment. Probably an error by Pierce that lost 2 positions so fast. But had she has Krychkova in 13th, and then there are 40 seconds to Sophie Aron when in 12th position. So she for sure needs to recover a lot, and also the this little dirt that she took on her car didn't let her to get as close as she probably wants.
And I'm looking to the gap between Saradova and Bertalesca, and maybe the theory about the mistake from Saradov might be correct, because Bertalesca now is losing again time from the leader of the race. The gap is increased again by 3.8, so Saradov is currently flying on this first part of the race, and wow, she lost a lot in the final few seconds. Now she goes again. By the way, 4 seconds, Saradov with the fastest lap. I don't know if you have the graphics with the top 3 fastest laps, if the director...
Yes, for sure we have. Let me show you.
Okay, here we have, yeah, Saradov 2.1.7, there is a spin, then
By
from Fair.
Yeah, she probably on her own she gets out of the track. She wasn't so near to another drivers, but probably she did everything on her own. Also, Sophie Erwin heading into the pits now to make her mandatory pit. At the beginning, probably some damage by her. And probably she will try to recover as soon as possible through the rest of the race.
Yeah, of course, I agree, and we will see. We are at the beginning, and we've seen also a great number of pit stop. 4 cars already at Zonit, and I don't know, but no, okay, sorry, I didn't see Rangstetter in P13, and that's my bad, sorry. And the fastest lap now from Saradov, 2.1.1, is incredible. I think it was maybe half a second faster than Roberta Lesca's one, if my memory isn't wrong.
It's 1.1 second faster than Roberta Lesca one, because Roberta Lesca in the last turn ran in 2 minutes 2.2, whereas Saradov, as we are seeing also in the graphics, has the best lap in the last lap, 2 minutes 1.172. So a very, very great lap. Basically, she is making the void behind her. She's running basically alone in the dark of Suzuka here, and she is already gaining on some cars that are basically lapped. There will be a lapping in 10 minutes. She's basically flying in tonight.
Of course, and now it's currently 6 seconds of advantage. I think that in the previous rounds we've seen a great battle, in particular in Monza, before the unfortunate event between Saradov and Roberta Lesca, but today looks like Sara has an incredible pacer, and even Roberta doesn't seems like to have that kind of pace to answer to the championship leader. But of course the race is long. We have 50 minutes remaining. We have the pit stop, so we will see how the things will be at the end. But of course now we have an overtake on the 130R by Rankster on Pierce for P13. Retakes that P13 and now goes on the back of Kryuchkova for P12. Of course, as we've said, the Rankster has to gain as much points as she can, because she's currently second in the championship standings, and she didn't have the start she wanted, but now she has to defend once again. There is a battle.
It's Saradov that is already lapping the cars.
My goodness.
And Alessandro, how you feel here in the first laps of this race? 10 minutes have passed, and already we've seen a lot of action. Now there is a lot of gap between the drivers, but we are seeing already some good battles.
Alessandro left us because he had a technical problem. So now we
didn't
are
see
only.
it.
No, don't worry. I've seen it when you were talking, I managed it by myself. And now 39 minutes. I think the dark is quite heavy, so it's gonna be difficult to see. But I don't know. I wanna ask you a question, Andre. That you're a driver also on Assetto Corsa Competizione. When there's not the sun, so maybe in this kind of condition like darkness, where the braking spots, I mean the braking lines where you have to brake, how can you? Does it change from the morning, and where you can see the braking spots?
Usually you take, when you have to learn how to drive on a track, the first things you learn is to not use the shadows as your braking zone, because it can vary during the day, during the different times of the day, and obviously it works also for the night. So you should get something that is very close to the track, because also your headlights during the night must light him up. So if you take, for example, something on the other side of the track in braking zone, probably you won't see it during the night with just the headlights. So you must be very careful on finding out what is your braking spot and where to brake, because everything is in the dark. Is a little bit tricky because it's not as clear as during the day.
Yeah, I mean, not using the shadows or something that changes with the different weather conditions. But now we are with Pelletier, who's taking all the slipstream of Selene Witcher in 8th place. So they goes on the 130R. Now, no, she can't try and overtake on the final corner. I thought she was closer, but then no. Everything on the next lap. Now she takes all the slipstream on the main straight, but now she looks like too far away, I think, Andre.
Yeah, it's very tricky circuit. It's a very tricky condition also, and you need to be very careful on when and where to overtake. Probably she's starting the driver in her front. Also, we are seeing different trajectories here in the first two corners, a little bit of oversteer. But now it seems like Witcher basically stops her car to let Pelletier goes by. I don't know what happened here. Probably a mistake by her, because I'm not sure what we're seeing, but probably now Selene Witcher will try to stay in the back of Jessica Pelletier to gain some time with to get to Sarah Johnson that is in front of her.
Yeah, very strange move by her. I don't know why she had done it, but now Johnson takes 6th place on Bochenska, and now she goes to find out where Rhea Palma is. Now she's in 5th place, and I think Rhea Palma, yeah, is 3rd in the championship standings in front of Josie Austin. Austin, that maybe is one of the drivers who are absent this evening.
Yeah,
I think,
she's not
yeah.
in the leaderboard, so she's not here tonight.
Yeah, great punch for the championship standing, of course, but yeah, maybe in such a special day she had something different to do. And then Saradov, again, the fastest lap, 2.1.1. It was pretty similar to the previous one. By the way, she didn't relax at all, and she increases once again the gap on her first opposition, so Roberta Lesca, by 9.2 seconds.
Yeah, she's basically flying, as I'm saying basically all the race. She was 1.3 seconds faster than Roberta Lesca in second position, who drove in 2 minutes 2 and 4. And tonight, basically, it's. I think everything is easy for Saradov, because he's leading after a quarter of an hour, already by almost 10 seconds. Obviously, it's not that over, because we have the pit. The pit is something that is always tricky and must be always considered in a race like this, because it can basically change everything. But if she drives like she is doing now, tonight is another another glory day for her, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive by Saradov, her performances, and if she wins also this race, then there are 4 in a row. I don't know if we have seen 4 wins in a row in some other championships, but there is a huge domination by this great driver.
Yeah, winning 4 races in a row, it's basically means that you are on basically another level with respect to everyone in the championship, because she not only earned that victory because of questions of tenths, but usually for with a large margin. The only The only other driver that seemed to be close to her was Roberta Lesca in Monza 2 weeks ago, but in Silverstone and here she seemed basically on all another level.
Yeah, I like the flashing lights on her window to displaying her name Dove, and now change it on 001. By the
It's the
way,
position.
I mean, but now we have Dove once again. I really, I really like she wants to be shown on the live because other drivers are not flashing. By the way, I'd like to take a shot in Italian to our Italian viewers. So buonasera, non abbiamo ancora fatto un piccolo step in italiano. Comunque è iniziato il terzo round del campionato Women Championship 2022 organizzato da Racing Point, Team Racing Point. Un grande inizio, devo dire, Andre. Siamo partiti con una qualifica che ha visto ancora una volta in pole position Sara Dove, la leader del campionato, una performance impressionante che sta riconfermando in gara, perché abbiamo visto un dominio, a parte la partenza un po' movimentata, che ha visto un contatto che ha, diciamo, posto alcune vetture nelle retrovie. Per il resto abbiamo visto che il gap ha continuato a crescere tra Sara Dove e Roberta Lesca, quindi immagino che Sara questa sera, anzi senza immagino, stia dimostrando di essere meritevolmente in prima posizione e sta continuando a incrementare il suo gap, ha fatto il giro veloce nell'ultimo passaggio, quindi devo dire grande grande lavoro da parte sua e gara interessante, peccato per il contatto all'inizio.
Sì, peccato per il contatto all'inizio, ma in questo momento Saradov sta praticamente facendo un altro mestiere rispetto a tutti gli altri, gira praticamente quasi un secondo più veloce di Roberta Lesca, che è la seconda più veloce in seconda posizione, perché anche lei sta comunque guadagnando molto tempo nei confronti di Holly Hatter, che vediamo in questo momento inquadrata in terza posizione. Sicuramente all'inizio c'è stato forse un po' troppo movimento, abbiamo visto quell'incidente che ha coinvolto praticamente metà griglia di questa sera. Oggi sono 15 piloti soltanto, 16 perché qualcuno non è riuscito a connettersi tra qualifica e gara purtroppo. Però sì, comunque vediamo già una gara con tante battaglie, anche se i distacchi sono elevati, ma sicuramente ci stanno facendo divertire.
Intanto approfitterei, dato che siamo in questo piccolo spot in italiano, per andare a recuperare e fare gli auguri a Valentina B86, che prima ha commentato in chat e chiaramente oggi, essendo San Valentino, facciamo gli auguri anche a lei. So we can switch back to English, to our main language of this championship, and I've seen a yellow flag from Pelletier, and Celine Witcher took that 8th place because Pelletier made a mistake, but she only lost that place, and now she's currently again in 9th, one the driver 737. Now we are in a pretty calm part of the race, Andre. 30 minutes remaining. We have the mandatory pit stop still to do. I mean, the most of the drivers has to do it. And I don't know, do you think the pits might change something? Do you think it's gonna be the same? Maybe not for the win, but maybe for the podium. I don't know, because Camariano is pretty close to Atter now.
Camoriano is Chiara, the other Italian girl here in the tracks, is gaining a little bit and is getting closer. Obviously, there could be some different strategies, but at the moment the gap of Saradov is improving a lot. The only thing I can imagine is because she started with low fuel and maybe is gaining a lot of time with respect to Roberta Resca, but she will have to stop at half of the race. But now she's going even faster. 2 minutes point 7 is half a second closer to the pole position. So she is running very, very, very fast. Probably that's the only reason I think, and I can imagine of the reason she's gaining so much time with respect to Roberta Resca, that maybe is in full load of fuel, and she is running a little bit slower to have a big overcut and to stop only at the end to load a liter of fuel at the end of the race.
Yeah, I think I agree with your point of view. And if there is a possibility now, yellow flag for Pierce in P14, if you have the possibility again to see the top 3 fastest lap, because I don't know if Roberto Lesca improved R1, and it takes Sardov 2.0.7 Camoriano second 2.2.0 and Roberta Lesca 2.2.1. 1.3 or 1.4 seconds faster, Sardov, than her first rival in second place, Roberta Lesca. That's absolutely stunning.
Yeah, she is doing what we have seen doing by her in the last round. She's flying. She's smashing all her contenders, and she's doing a great job also here. Let's see if the strategy is the only thing that could maybe make some risk to her first position, but the gap is huge at the moment.
Yeah, I don't wanna say too early, but I think she might have also a spin at the end to party, and maybe she stays also maybe 2 or 3 spins, and she could stay in first place with the gap she already has. But now we have to wait till the end. We've seen it also in the previous rounds that nothing is. I mean, it's not the end till the end.
Yeah.
And we've seen it also at the start of this race. Now we are in a very quiet, maybe and calm part of the race, because the gaps are pretty high between drivers. Also because, as we've seen at the beginning, it is a very difficult and technical track. So also the gaps between the drivers are higher maybe than a track like Monza. We have less drivers, so I think also the possibility to see overtakes are less than we've seen in the previous 2 rounds. But by the way, this is a very entertaining track, and we will see. Of course, now I think maybe Camoriano might take third place on Ator, but the pace is pretty similar, so it's gonna be very difficult. Maybe with a strategy might be the key for Camoriano to take that last spot of the podium, but yeah, right now I think the overtaking opportunities are pretty low.
Yeah, but now I just noticed that we were running without the game audio, and no one in the chat said anything. So what's going on? Are you hearing us, or are we joking? Because I see, wow, it's quite calm tonight here in Suzuka, and then I see I think there's something missing. And there was the game audio here that I probably shut off due to the graphics we are improving. So now we are also hearing the volume of the cars with Camoriano that is getting closer and closer to Oliator in third position.
Yeah, and now, whoa, goes wide, Ator, and Camoriano is very close now. We might see finally an overtaking for the third place. I've said just 30 seconds before that the overtaking opportunities were low, but now Camoriano is very, very close to Ator, and we might have the opportunity to see 2 Italian drivers on the podium, but I don't want to see it too early, because now she goes wide on the grass and she spins round. I said it too early. Oh, damn. I didn't... I shouldn't have said it.
Yeah, yeah. And she also get overtaken, I think, by Rea Palma, that was running in 5th place, and she needs to recover a lot now, because she was very, very close, and she basically broke on the grass. Yeah. Now we have the pit window open, so we have the pit window, so everyone needs to stop now. I just got the communication with the audio, and the first one to do it is Sarah Johnson in 6th place. So probably all the drivers will stop in the next 10 minutes. I think it will be the pit window open, and let's see how they will prove how they will use their strategy.
Oh dear, I feel so bad for Chiara Camoriano. I literally said it 2 seconds before she spinned round, and I feel bad for her. Then we will see after the pit how it will be, but now she has to retake the place on Rea Palma, which is not a slow driver, so it's not gonna be easy at all. And then 7 seconds in front is Ator, so yeah, opportunities now are getting lower. Once again, someone is doing the pits, so Johnson, Witcher, Edwards, and Enroman have just done the mandatory pit stop. Then Fair is the only one in the sandwich now. She enters pits right now, so from 8 to the last place are all in the pits. We will see. Do you think something will change with the pits?
Yeah, I think also Krychkova, Rangstier, and Pierce has recorded the earlier pit they did at the beginning of the race, so probably they need still to do the mandatory pit at this moment. In this moment, we'll also see Krychkova entering the pits, so probably they are entering two for their mandatory pit in the pit window.
I've seen a mistake from Rhea Palma. Sorry for the interruption, Under, but I've seen her going through the grass, but then Camariano didn't gain anything, so maybe she was distracted by the mistake from Rhea Palma, and she stays now in the 5th place. She's gaining again, and be careful because there is a changing of position in the pit stop. Witcher takes 9th. And they're all close there because Edwards is 2.8 from Witcher and Faye is 0.5. Also, Rankster are very close from 10th to 13th place.
Yeah, because they are stopped at the pit, so they are basically
sorry.
going back to the other. That's the reason why they're also close, and they now need to basically make their pit, and we'll see the actual time at the exit. But let's also look at the front of the grid, where the first 7 drivers didn't stop for their mandatory pit, and they also have a huge lead with the 8, because Johnson is 50 seconds behind Pelletier in 7th. So probably the standings won't change so much. So we will see basically. I don't think we will see so much shaking in the leaderboard during the pit, but something probably can change in the strategies. Someone can maybe try to stop earlier to try to something different with respect to the others.
Yeah, for example, Chiara Camoriano might try an overcut or an undercut on Rhea Palma, and I'm sorry for the gaff I did before. I'm at the beginning of Assetto Corsa competition. I'm trying to understand this platform as much as I can, and sometimes I say shitty things. So sorry for the mistake. By the way, yeah, Camariano is very close. I think she's the only one who might try and overtake in the pits, and now she goes into the pits, but also looks like
Arthur, I think.
yeah, it's Arthur.
Yeah, Arthur is in front of her, so let's see now how they will end up exiting in the pit, because they entered very close one to each other. Probably Arthur slowed a lot down to not take any penalty during the entering of the pit.
Also, Celine Witch goes into the pits once again. She had already done the mandatory pit stop, but she goes straight through the pit lane once again. And there is an overtake by Camariano Barator, but they are stopped into the pits, so now we have to wait till they go to the end of the pit lane.
Let's see how it will take, because there are 30 seconds if they want to change the tires, and probably they're doing, because the stops is more than 30 seconds, and yeah, they are exiting in this moment. Let's see how they are close, if they are close to each other. But it seems that Camoriano exits the pits a lot earlier than Ator, that is still in the pit at this moment. He's exiting right now.
Yeah, great pit stop by Camoriano. Now we have to see where Rhea Palma, where is gonna... Oh, Saradov goes into the pits right now, so the leader is stopping for a mandatory pit stop. Now we will see how Roberto Lisca will react. I don't think we're gonna see some kind of overtake, because she had an advantage of 12 seconds, but of course we will see by the increase of the gap. And now she stopped Roberta Lesca on the same lap of Saradov, so nothing different. She wants to take that second place to defend this round and maybe try to get the podium, I think.
Yeah.
Also because in the second round in Monza she wasn't so lucky, and maybe also a podium might be good for the championship.
Yeah, probably she could try something different, maybe not changing the tires, so she can get a faster pit stop and maybe exit earlier than Saradov. But but let's see if they're when the timer will stop. Now we're seeing a kind of long pit stop by Saradov that is exiting right now, and
Also
also
Leska.
Roberta Resca. See, yes, no, she's
No.
no,
There was
she's
a
still
bug.
she's still in the pit. Probably she moved a little bit the car and she's waiting to exit. So she will still be not so close to Saradov. Saradov took 35 seconds more or less. So she's losing
Oh.
also more time. Probably an issue at the pit for her. Yeah, now
Wow.
she's going out, and also she needs to. No, okay. Rhea Palma is kind of close to her, but she lost more than 10 seconds to.
28 seconds.
Yeah, she lost a lot also in the pit, so probably not the best strategy also for her.
Yeah, because she lost a lot of time, and maybe with a different strategy, if Saradov, I mean, if Saradov had done a longer pit stop like Roberta did, we might have seen a battle for the win. But it's not gone like this. Not a great strategy by Roberta. Let's go. We see the end. But of course, I think 28 seconds is impossible to recover. And Camoriano is in third place right now. She took that third place of the podium, even though the mistake we've seen before the stop. Then she has done a great strategy. Now she's in third place, but Rhea Palma is right there. So we will see. We will see. By the way, until now, great strategy from Chiara Camoriano.
Yeah, great strategy. And now let's see if she can get any closer to Roberta Resca for maybe second place, because she for sure was having a great pace. Her best lap is basically the same of Roberta. They are running in 20 milliseconds of difference of their best lap, so their pace should be kind of similar between them. But let's see how the race will going on, because now there are 26 minutes left till the end of the race in the dark of Suzuka here, and let's see how will it end. But now it seems that Saradov is kinda easy in first position. She is not worrying much for their contenders, because Roberta Resca is 30 seconds behind. That's a lot of time to be recovered.
Yeah, the Italian girls are currently in a sandwich of the McLarens. The two Italian BMW drivers are in the sandwich of the McLaren drivers. So I don't know. Honestly, to be completely honest, I don't see a potential battle for the podium for Rhea Palma on Camoriano, because she's losing time right now. We will see then, but I'm looking to the standings, and all the drivers are far away from the one in front, and I don't want to say too early, but it might end like this. Andred, what do you think?
Yeah, at the moment the gaps are kinda huge between every drivers. The only drivers, the closest drivers is Rhea Palma in fourth position, but the gap is getting bigger and bigger, because Camoriano for sure had another pace. She proved she overtook her after the pit. Probably she also recovered the damage of her BMW, because now we're seeing that is basically perfect also in the skin of the car, on the livery of the car. So probably she recovered also the damage she had, and now she is getting a little bit closer to Roberta Resca. She gained half a second, but we must wait for the next lap.
Yeah, I think Saradov might win this race if anything happens, and I don't wanna say that something is gonna happen to her. With the gap, with the biggest gap we've seen till the end of the championship, because I think the biggest one was by 32 seconds, and we are already with 31, with 24 minutes remaining, so we are a little bit, I mean, we are pretty close to the half part of the race. So we are already crossed the line of the medium part of the race, so I'm not saying that she's gonna win with 1 minute of advantage, but maybe she can close to the 32 seconds. That might be her record.
Yeah.
Maybe
But
this is the only motivation she has right now.
yeah, because we saw an error by her in the last round in Monza because she was trying to get the fastest lap. But then she made an error, but she already have the fastest lap by kinda lot, 1.4 second to Roberta Alesca no, to Chiara Camoriano that has the second fastest lap. That shows the graphic again of the top 3 fastest lap. But let us be driven by Saradov around this beautiful track here in the last part of the circuit, and we are seeing an almost perfect lap by her because she didn't make any mistake. She is in perfect control of the race, and let's see here. You can hear that she is lifting the throttle to get around the 130 R. Then for the last chicane, need to be very close to the curbs here, using all the curbs here at possible, and going down the main straight to end this great lap that she. Let's wait a few seconds that we will see 2 minutes 1.1. That is basically still faster than the best lap of their following cars. That now it's Sofia Erowen that gets the second fastest lap in 2 minutes 2.0.
Yeah, and it's incredible that in the top 3 fastest lap there isn't the second place runner. So Roberta Alesca is not even in the top 3 of the fastest drivers.
It's very close because it's 2 minutes 2.110, so it's very close to the 0.90 of for Chiara Camoriano in third place, but the pace is more or less there.
Yeah, I think she's managing the advantage now, Roberta Alesca. She knows that she can't do anything more than second place today, and she has also a nice gap from Chiara Camoriano, so she's relaxing herself in that second place. That is not a bad result. I mean, in terms of the championship, with all the unlucky things she had before, it's gonna be, I don't know, let me see where is currently Roberta Alesca in the standings. She's 11th with 132 points, and Saradov is in first place with 255, so not a great start of the season from Roberta Alesca. Maybe she should have earned more points, but today is a good result in terms of the championship, also because of the absence of top rivals, I mean, apart from Sarah, obviously.
Yeah, Sarah is proving she's still the one to be beaten, and today there is basically no contender to her 35 second to Roberta Alesca, that she lost another 2 seconds basically to Saradov that is running first, that she has a very great pace. She's running 1.5, almost 2 seconds faster than Roberta Alesca in second position. But and Edwards is running wide at the last corner and gets overtaken by Serena Witcher that gets the 9th place. She was getting closer and closer, but an error by Edwards let Serena Witcher get the 9th place easily.
Yeah, we've seen a change of position. Now Witcher takes 9th place, and also Witcher is on the battle for the 3rd place of the championship because she's 6th with 178 points, with levels with Chiara Camoriano, I've seen now. So today Chiara is going to take, if the race is gonna end like this, more points than Saline Witcher, and maybe Anzi. She's gonna overtake also Josie Austin, who is 4th with 187. So Chiara Camoriano today, if the race finishes like this, might get 4th place in the championship standings. That is not a bad result at all.
Yeah, for sure it is. In the meantime, I'm seeing that we have Yvonne Hofer that I think she had some issue between the qualifiers and the race in our chat, so that is cheering for Sarah in first position, and we hope to see her again. But now again for sure in their next races because she was already doing a great job. But for sure, it's better if she stays in the race. But for sure, she will be in the next one.
Yeah, I think so. And now I was looking to the gap between Rea Palma and Chiara Camoriano. It's gone down again of 1.6, so it's not over. We have still a quarter of an hour to the end of the race. Anything can happen, as we've seen with a mistake by Edwards in 10th place. So it's not over. And wow, Saradov 30, almost 37 seconds of advantage is going to smash the wall of the 30 seconds of advantage, and we will see. Now we're going to do the countdown to the 32 seconds of advantage to smash the record of the domination of Saradov.
Yeah, but I seen that now some little mistakes by Chiara Camoriano that lost some time, but now is getting a little bit more. But the gap between Rea Palma and Chiara stays in 1.5 seconds, and you can see in the back the gap is greater and greater at 13 seconds to Oliator that is running in 50th position. And now probably an issue for Kryuchkova that we saw getting out of the tracks earlier with Rea Palma. I think she was, yes, it was the McLaren. Probably I think she had the drive-through because she didn't stop at the pits and is going all the way back into the race. So yeah, probably a drive-through for corner cutting to her.
There is a very unfortunate penalty. I think when I get a drive-through also in my races when it happens, it didn't happen so often, but when it happened, it was like a great disappointment because it's not a penalty like, for example, 3 or 5 seconds. A drive-through, you're gonna lose, I think, all the race because after a drive-through, it's impossible to regain the important position, also where the gaps are pretty close to each other. So I don't know. Don't you think it's a drive-through is too much for corner cutting?
Yeah, it depends because usually in the game when you don't get so much gain accessing the track, you won't receive anything, neither a warning but just a quick message, or you get out of the track, so you didn't gain any time and it's fine. So you need to gain basically more than 3/4 tenths, I think, to get a corner cut and a warning, and at the fourth warning you get the drive-through penalty. So it's not as strict as in other games. For sure, you know how strict it is in the Formula 1 game, where you
dear.
you just take 1 inch out of the track, 1 centimeter out of the track with the tire, and you get a warning. Here it's more, it lets you gain more warnings. Let's say you drive a little bit easily around the track. It's not so strict.
Yeah, of course, but then a penalty, for example, in Formula 1, as you said, after 3 warnings you get 3 seconds penalty. Here, after 4, as I
Yes.
understood the right way, there is a drive-through.
Yeah, but you need to gain a lot of advantage. Usually are kinda hard to get those for warnings. Probably here in the 130R here is the most common place where to take a warning, because you run wide and you don't lift your foot when you're cutting the corner, because if you left your foot, usually it also didn't get you a warning. So it's kind of hard. You need to be for sure careful, but it's not as easy as in other games, as I was saying.
Well, so I think we can agree that we're not seeing any battle right now. The standings looks quite freezing right now. I don't see any potential battle, so I'll make a switch to Italian to relax our voices and also to talk to our Italian viewers. So stiamo affrontando una gara abbastanza tranquilla perché abbiamo visto grande movimento nelle retrovie all'inizio con quel botto che ha visto coinvolte alcune vetture. Per esempio adesso mi viene da pensare a Rankster che si trova in 13ª posizione. Lei era attualmente la seconda in classifica generale, quindi grande colpo di scena questa sera. E con l'assenza anche di Josie Austin, oggi sicuramente ad esempio una Chiara Camoriano che si trova in 5ª posizione potrebbe saltare in avanti e guadagnare diversi punti importantissimi per la classifica. In ogni caso abbiamo visto un dominio allucinante, Andre, di Saradova ancora una volta, che adesso si trova con 40 secondi, ci stiamo avvicinando, l'abbiamo detto prima, ai 42 che dovrebbero essere, se la mia memoria non mi inganna, il suo record di vantaggio. Vedremo se riuscirà a superarli oggi in questa gara, anche se con 13 minuti al termine mi sembra una cosa non così impossibile da fare. Per il resto direi gara abbastanza tranquilla. Lesca continua a perdere da Dove, ma allo stesso tempo guadagna su Camoriano, quindi il podio mi sembra abbastanza tranquillo, ma in realtà tutta la gara. Forse Andre l'unica cosa potrebbe essere Rea Palma su Camoriano, anche se negli ultimi passaggi ha perso qualcosina.
Sì, più o meno dalla seconda alla sesta posizione il ritmo di tutti i piloti è nello stesso range, girano intorno ai 2 minuti, 2 secondi alto, diciamo, più di mezzo. Li leggo in ordine che ce li ho sott'occhio: 965, 995, 972, 832, 667, quindi tutti nel range dei 202 alto. E quindi sarà molto difficile vedere delle lotte se il ritmo verrà mantenuto questo, anche perché l'unica che sta veramente facendo la differenza là davanti è Saradov, che l'ultimo giro ha girato in 2 minuti 1 e 4, mentre in fondo l'unico altro pilota che sta andando veloce è Sofia Erumen, che sta girando anche lei in 2-1 e alto, probabilmente ha avuto un pit per riparare qualcosa. Però è a 20 secondi da Hedda Ranksteer in 13ª posizione. Quindi sarà difficile, non sarà così facile vedere qualche lotta. Magari l'unica cosa è che potremo avere magari qualche problema con i doppiaggi, come abbiamo visto prima per Rea Palma, che ha avuto qualche piccolo problemino.
Sì, e tra l'altro, dato che siamo anche nella fase dell'italiano, è anche da sottolineare il doppio podio italiano attualmente qui a Suzuka, perché al di là del predominio assoluto di Saradov, vediamo in seconda e terza posizione due italiane, Roberta Lesca e Chiara Camoriano, quindi qui in Giappone c'è una grande festa all'italiana se dovesse finire così la gara. Attenzione, bandiera gialla per Fer, che però ritorna in pista, quindi nessun cambiamento. E attenzione perché adesso tocca a Saradov per qualche istante i 42 secondi. Adesso non ricordo precisamente al millesimo, ma se dovesse salire a 43. Poi ci stiamo affidando alla mia memoria, potrebbe anche aver vinto di 50, ma io mi ricordo questo 42 e mezzo, che poi magari non è neanche vero, però giusto per movimentare un po' una gara che adesso è cristallizzata, anche perché insomma è una pista molto tecnica, l'abbiamo detto prima, molto difficile, per cui quando ci sono tante curve, tanti aspetti tecnici, settori guidati come il primo, il terzo, insomma, è facile che poi si crei anche una scrematura tra i piloti, Andre.
Sì, esatto, più una pista è tecnica, più è facile che i gap, i divari diventino grandi, come stiamo vedendo questa sera. E già che siamo nell'italiano, chiudiamo questa parentesi ricordandovi i prossimi appuntamenti su GDD, sui vari canali di GDD. Domani io, Edoardo e altri due nostri colleghi, diciamo, ci spostiamo dalla cabina di commento alla pista, in quanto andremo
per noi.
Sì, va bene. Andremo a correre nel DTM Championship organizzato da SRE, che potrete vedere e seguire sempre sui nostri canali di GDD, però non sull'1 ma nel canale 2 di cui trovate il link in chat, che viene spammato dal bot, oppure sotto la finestra del video di Twitch. Mercoledì avremo sempre sul canale 2 gli Historic GT Challenge di motori nella leggenda, sempre su Assetto Corsa come piattaforma, mentre sull'1 dovremmo avere Sim Enjoy, dove ritorneranno Antonio e Alessio a commentare dopo la pausa di 2 settimane fa. Intanto indietro, vediamo, è successo qualcosa tra Oliator?
Sì, mi sa proprio di sì. Ok,
E
forse un contatto perché vedo che il cofano è leggermente alzato.
sì,
Entra i box. Wow. Colpo di scena, Andre, questo è importante.
Yeah, for our English viewers, let's switch a little bit back in English. That we will switch back in Italian for just one last thing. Oleator gets, I think, a little bit of contact. Let's see if she make an incident, but it seems not. She probably did everything by herself, and she went into the pit. So probably she will lose one or two positions, I think. Can end up in 7th or 8th position.
Yeah, I don't know what happened because we've seen the yellow flag behind and she had damage on her front part of the car, so maybe yeah, a contact or she's spun around, touched the wall, I don't know, but then if she goes into the pits, maybe she has some kind of damage and she had to repair it before going through the final part of the race. And yeah, of course, apart from that, we were seeing then Arto now is overtaken by Pelletier because she's exiting pits right now and might get close to Selene Witcher, who is closing the gap right now. Is 1.2, 0.5. Yeah, yes, she overtakes. She's been overtaken also by Selene Witcher, Oliato, and now she's currently 9th fastest. So we're gonna switch a little back to Italian because she was we were doing we were giving some kind of infos to the Italian followers. Now we are back in English in 30 seconds.
Sì, è l'ultima, esatto, torniamo un attimo in italiano per ricordarvi il nuovo appuntamento di GDD che andrà in onda il venerdì sul canale 1, dove avremo un nuovo talk show che abbiamo ideato, dove sarà presente anche come nel ruolo di conduttrice uno dei piloti che c'è questa sera. Ci sarà Roberta Lesca a condurre questo talk show del venerdì sera, sempre sul canale 1 di GDD, con tanti ospiti, dove parleremo principalmente del sim racing e delle gare che andremo a streamare, ma avremo tanti contenuti, tanti ospiti, tante cose da vedere. Adesso stiamo studiando, ma ce ne saranno sicuramente delle belle, quindi vi aspettiamo venerdì qui sempre sui canali di GDD per guardare questo nuovo talk show, di cui anche io sono molto curioso di vedere cosa verrà fuori.
Yeah, and also to the English viewers, we're gonna send you this info like we've done right now to the Italian people. On Friday, the driver that is currently in second place, Roberta Lesca, will conduct, I don't know if it's the right way to say it, a talk show, the first episode of the talk show about sim racing here on GDD Sim Racing 1, that is the same channel we are doing the live this evening. So if you wanna follow her, of course it's gonna be in Italian, but by the way, if you wanna see her about this, I think it's a kind of a podcast, you can follow us on this Friday here on the GTD Sim Racing 1 channel. So I think we've started a poll. So which driver did you like the most on this race? And now you can vote on the chat this poll. And I ask you the same question, Andre. Who is the driver you like the most tonight?
I think there were some drivers that did a very, very great job, because for sure Saradov is tonight seems to be basically in another completely different level with respect to anyone else on the grid. But I think that now for today, Roberta Lesca was one of the driver we were expecting in the front position, and she had some issues in the last races, but tonight she proved that she can stay in the front, and she that the place she deserves, and I think tonight is probably the redemption day, and maybe from the next races in the end of the season we can see her more and more in the front.
Yeah, and I've also seen a yellow flag again from ranks, but she doesn't lose any place. She stays in P13. A very difficult race from her, who is currently in second place of the standings, like we said before. And yeah, I think that today the driver of the day vote is from my side once again to Sarado, because she's done an incredible job. And once again, also if in qualifying we've seen Sarado and Roberta Lesca close to each other, today Roberta lost 35 seconds. That I think we've passed the 32 seconds, and this might be a new record. I don't know. We are we are focusing on my memory. I don't know if it's right or not, but this should be the biggest gap of winning. Also, if Sardov is gonna win the race, we are not. To the checkered flag still, so we will wait till the end. But yeah, 36 seconds of advantage. What can you say? Of course, we've seen a huge crash on the first lap, but then Leska was only 2 seconds behind. So the other 34, Sarah gained them with all her talent.
Yeah, exactly. In the meantime, let me thank Arctic83 that is a new follower for us, that we are doing a little challenge road to 1,000 followers. So if you are not following us, please do it, because it's a challenge also for us to get in the fourth digit of the number of followers. In the meantime, Maria Krychkova gets the place over Fair for 11th position.
Yeah, she took that 11th place onto the end of this race, 2 minutes and 37 seconds remaining, and Rankster is pretty close to Fair. She might take even 12th place, we will see to the end, because she's pretty close now. If she goes onto the main straight with a huge speed, no, into turn 1 I think it's pretty impossible, but she might, well, I mean, she's going to take all the slipstream. She also might try and overtake around the outside before turn 1 is incredible. She took the place, but I think that Fair lifted the throttle, because she also... Oh, be careful to Rhea Palma. Rhea Palma spins round, and she's losing time, but she might take that 4th place. Yeah, she stays in 4th place. Wow, this was a big mistake. Luckily for her, she had quite an advantage on Johnson in 5th place, but yeah. Onto the final or semi-final lap, it's not ideal. I think she had a goosebump on her heart, quite heavy.
Yeah, she needs to stay focused till the end of the race. Now we are seeing this group of 3 drivers that is basically the first battle in a quarter of an hour between Fair, that has been overtaken by Hedda Rangsti, that is now getting closer and closer to Kryushkova with the BMW, that is one of the best car here in this track. With I think I don't think the McLaren is one of the best car here, but for sure Saradov is doing a great job with it. But for sure I know that the BMW is seen as one of the favorite here, because of the composition of the track. And let's see if Pedda Rangster can get closer to Kryuchkova with the Porsche, but it seems to gain more and more 3 tenths now, the gap. And what speed! I don't know if Kryuchkova lifted his...
I think so.
Yeah, but so. I think so, because also because she gained, she lost a lot of time with respect to Rangsti, that gets the 11th place, doing a great job, a great recovery, because in the first round, at the first lap, she was in the back of the grid.
And behind, Kryuchkova was sliding Saradov. Saradov crashes into the final corner. And this is a huge mistake by the leader of the championship and of the race. And now she had luckily quite an advantage, but when we put the camera on her, she lost it onto the final lap. And now the checkered flag is out, so this is gonna be the No, she's the winner.
She's the winner.
She's the winner. She wins the race in Suzuka in an absolutely stunning way and spectacular end of this race with 37 seconds of advantage. I can't believe it's what we've seen under just at the end.
Yeah, because if she didn't have the crash, probably there will be another lap in the race. Probably she was slowing down already. To not have another lap, because her gap was so huge, and that goes out the record, because there are 30 seconds now of gap that Leska gained a little bit of time. Great job by Roberta Lesca in 7th position. Then we have Chiara Camoriano in 3rd and Rea Palma in 5th. So 3 Italian drivers in the first 4 position. Obviously, Saradovi is in 1st. Great job by her.
Yeah, incredible podium then. Roberta Lesca stays in 2nd place, like we've said before. Then Camoriano in 3rd, last place of the podium. 4th, Rea Palma with a great performance. In 5th, Johnson. 6th, Bochenska. 7th, Witcher. 8th, Pelletier. 9, Arthur. And 10, Edwards. What a race we've seen, and what a final lap we've seen. I think this was, I mean, I got excited and I was pretty worried about the win because, you know, when you crash into the wall, you never know how the car will react. So, Andre, I would launch a spot and then we go to the interview because I'm really curious to ask to Sarah what's happened in the final lap. So, first spot and then we are back to the interviews.
Signore e signori, buonasera e bentornati su GDD Sim Racing TV. Qua in
Buonasera
cabina
signore e signori, buonasera amici di GDD Sim Racing TV.
Siamo qui per un evento molto particolare organizzato da URT.
Io sono Edoardo Pavoni e questa sera vi accompagnerò appunto per questo Gran Premio di
può essere Polla questa! Ed è Polla! Diventa di più!
termine della qualifica e lo fa subito. Pole position 1.57, 369. Rifila.
Vediamo, ed è pole position 54 257.
Cosa arriva adesso sul traguardo? Provò per rimanere secondo.
Clemente è partito molto bene, è partito anche Nossa, anche prende subito la scia.
Si parte bandiera verde. Si parte bandiera verde. Adesso Sartor è quasi affiancato, ma un buonissimo spunto di
Francesco acquista pace, percorre il rettilineo, inizia a spanalare.
Kevin Taddei vince la gara a Monza, Christmas Event G2.
As a child, you would wait and watch from far away, but you always knew that you'd be the one that worked while they all played.
Che mi ha messo?
So we are back here with the interviews for the end of the race. So a great race. We see a little bit of issues at the beginning, the first lap with a huge crash, but now we are with the first four. I see the first four drivers at the end of the race, but I leave you the honor to get the interviews to Edo.
Well, of course, now, so, first of all, I really like the race. Then, the beginning, now we are seeing the replay of the crash, and, well, the dynamic was, I think it was a racing incident, to be completely honest, and we have to rewatch the replay in a more particular way, but I think that there was a racing incident, and we will see how the race director will manage that. By the way, let's interview the winner of the race once again, Sarah Dove. Good evening, Sarah.
Ciao.
Good evening. Really, what I can say from qualifying to the race, an absolutely domination, and once again you've increased your lead in the championship standing. So talk about your race and then what happened in the last lap, because I think we've all got goosebumps on our ass, because we didn't expect that.
I didn't either. Kind of surprised me. Yeah, it was a good race. I drove a lot better in this one than another Suzuka race I did recently, so I'm happy about that. But yeah, just coming up to the final lap, I got onto the sort of exit curb of the chicane, and it kind of spun the car around, and I just crashed into the pit entry. And I had no windscreen or headlights, so that was kind of difficult.
Yeah, we've seen. So at the end, luckily you had quite a big advantage on in terms of gap to Roberta, but yeah, we were scared at the end because we didn't even know it was the last lap because with the crash the race stopped earlier. So, by the way, you won and incredible. I think your fastest lap was 1.3 faster than the second one we've seen by the graphics. So what we can say, and I don't know if you don't want to say anything to Sarah, but really, really congratulations, Sarah.
Yeah,
Thank
Sarah.
you.
Yeah, Sarah did a great job with in another level with respect to the other drivers tonight, and we are getting used to it. But I think she also hoped that she has some contenders in the next race to make everything more spicy. What do you think, Sarah?
Yeah, hopefully it's always fun to have more people to race again.
Yeah.
Great.
So congratulations, and let's get to the next drivers to Roberta Lesca that got the second position, but I think we need to switch in Italian because we have the three Italian girls here. Ciao Roberta, non so se ci senti.
Ciao.
Ciao Roberta. Intanto congratulazioni per il secondo posto.
Grazie.
Perché comunque un ottimo lavoro, anche se un po' di distacco da Sara che comunque oggi aveva un grandissimo passo, ha fatto un grandissimo lavoro, ma finalmente sei sul podio.
Sì, finalmente sì. Sono emozionata per questo podio, però comunque Sara ha veramente un passo molto veloce.
Sì, abbiamo visto che Sara oggi praticamente aveva tutt'altro passo, però comunque sei riuscita a rimanere lì dietro, tenendo anche dietro le tue avversarie, Chiara e Rea
Esatto.
inizialmente, quindi complimenti ancora per il secondo posto.
Grazie.
Ti faccio una domanda, alla seconda curva, quando hai avuto quel piccolo contattino al primo giro, cosa hai pensato?
Ho detto, boh, qua la gara è finita. Non so come sono riuscita a tenere la macchina, fortunatamente, però inizialmente ho pensato, boh, è finita, addio il mio secondo posto.
Beh, dai, alla fine sei riuscita a mantenere la seconda posizione alla fine per tutta la gara, quindi complimenti e ci vediamo
Grazie,
venerdì a sto
davvero.
punto.
Sì,
Qui.
ci vediamo venerdì.
Tra l'altro, se posso aggiungere qualcosa a proposito proprio del contatto della prima curva, intanto complimentoni veramente per la tua prestazione, Roberta. un lavoro eccezionale al di là della prestazione di Sara, ti meritavi questo podio già da diverso tempo e quando ho visto quel crash in curva, insomma nel primo giro, ho detto guarda, ci scommetto 1 su 100 che Roberta è dentro. Invece quando ho visto che era in seconda posizione ho detto oddio, cosa sta succedendo? Questa volta non è coinvolta in qualche sfiga. E quindi sono contento perché comunque era un risultato che meritavi di ottenere già da tempo. Quindi complimenti davvero per la tua performance. Adesso vogliamo la vittoria, però ci hai abituati bene,
Speriamo in questa vittoria, anche se comunque, ripeto, Sara ha un bel passo, però ci lavoro, ci lavoro.
Brava, brava. Allora aspettiamo di vederti anche sul primo gradino del podio. Complimentoni, complimentoni.
Grazie davvero.
Allora, passerei a questo punto anche con la terza classificata, Chiara Camoriano, buonasera.
Ciao, buonasera a tutti.
Allora, complimentoni ancora una volta per il podio. Tra l'altro, ottima strategia perché abbiamo visto prima della sosta, stavamo già fantasticando sulla possibilità di avere le due italiane sul podio. Ed effettivamente io tra l'altro ti chiedo scusa perché te l'ho gufata malissimamente.
Grazie.
E quando stavi tentando il sorpasso ho detto ok, forse abbiamo la possibilità di vedere un sorpasso. 2 secondi dopo, pam, finita male. Quindi ho detto benissimo, io posso anche andarmene a casa. Però poi hai fatto una strategia incredibile perché ha funzionato parecchio e hai guadagnato 2 posizioni.
Sì, effettivamente anch'io ho pensato di aver buttato all'ortica e tutto in quella staccata, ho detto boh, è andata e invece fortunatamente il pit è venuto perfetto, quindi sono riuscita a recuperare, quindi sono contenta anche di essere andata anche questa sera a podio e di averlo fatto con Roby, quindi tutto il team diciamo è a podio, quindi ottima soddisfazione direi.
Noi abbiamo anche buttato un occhio sulla classifica e oggi è un giorno abbastanza positivo anche in termini di campionato perché Josie Austin era assente, Rea era dietro e anche Rankster era piuttosto nelle retrovie, quindi buona giornata anche in termini di punti. Anche con te ci aspettiamo adesso il grande passo della vittoria
Eh,
prossimamente.
no, 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 io spingo la Roby, tranquillo, no, 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 volentieri.
Perfetto, Andrea, io allora ti lascio la parola se vuoi fare qualche domanda chiara, poi ti lascio con il riepilogo dei prossimi appuntamenti.
Beh, prima abbiamo anche la quarta classificata che tu magari ti sei
Ah,
perso.
è
Abbiamo anche
vero,
Rea.
c'è Rea, Rea.
Oggi, dato che, che facciamo le interviste praticamente quasi tutte in italiano, oggi ci
No, che siamo
sbizzarriamo, quindi...
abituati ai primi 3 del podio, quindi non avevo collegato effettivamente che
Quindi,
avevamo.
vai.
Non ho neanche aperto Discord, quindi non l'ho neanche vista. Eccola là, Rea.
Quindi...
Scusami, Rea, ti vogliamo bene.
Quindi,
Grazie anch'io.
intanto complimenti vabbè, a Chiara per questo bellissimo podio comunque e complimenti anche a te Rea perché sei comunque arrivata in quarta posizione, comunque un buon risultato che ti mantiene costante comunque sempre nelle prime posizioni come abbiamo visto nelle ultime gare. Abbiamo visto qualche problemino con qualche doppiaggio ma alla fine comunque puoi dirti soddisfatta di questa gara o potevi puntare a qualcosa più in alto magari?
E forse potevo puntare, viva la modestia, potevo puntare a una posizione, insomma, dai, rubare il posto a Chiara. Ho avuto un problema al pit e mi ha segnalato Chiara come se mi stesse doppiando, quindi ho alzato il piede in uscita pit. E lì infatti mi ha sfilato. Poi quando ho visto che era lei ho detto no, allora, assetto corsa competizione mi ha segnalato come se fossi doppiata. E quindi ho sollevato il piede lì proprio in uscita pit lane e va bene, e ho perso la terza posizione. Va bene, comunque è andata benissimo, soddisfatta, sì.
Ok, dai. Comunque complimenti anche a te, comunque dai, un quarto posto che fa sempre... Cioè,
Sì,
fa sempre...
sì, sì, sì,
penso tu possa
assolutamente.
ritenerti soddisfatto.
È vero, sì, noi
C'è un
italiane dai, stiamo
pizzico.
andando bene.
C'è un pizzico di amaro in quel soddisfatta? Sì, però possiamo capirlo che per una cosa, per una colpa non tua possa dare un po' fastidio, ma avrai sicuramente le tue opportunità anche in futuro, questo senza ombra di dubbio.
Una domanda per le ragazze. È stata stancante la gara? Rea? Chiara? Robby?
Ma abbastanza, io come ti ho detto prima ho sudato, diciamo così che ho sudato. Quindi sì, ma più che altro è la tensione quella che frega, perché per cercare di non fare errori, di tenere il passo e quindi quello, un po' lo stress alza la temperatura.
Certo.
Quello è paralizzante. Io e la Robby possiamo fare un'altra gara. Vai, Robby, ricominciamo.
Intanto salutiamo anche Diego di Team Racing Point che ci è venuto a salutare, darci una mano anche lui nelle interviste
Ciao,
tra gli
ragazzi.
organizzatori del campionato, di questo fantastico campionato.
Sempre i numeri uno, sempre i numeri uno, ragazzi. Bravissimi.
Grazie. Quindi let's switch back in English for the last thing. So I want to say thank you to all the chat, to all the followers and the viewers in this wonderful race. I want to say thank you to all the drivers that let us live this beautiful race here in the night of Suzuka. I don't know, Edo, if you have something to add.
Well, no, I think just thank you to everyone who worked hard to create this kind of a championship, from the organization, from the director, to the creators of the graphics we are using, powered by AGDD Dynamics, to the drivers who also in a special day like this one, Valentine's Day, are here to race and to let people be entertained by this amazing championship that I've said from the first day that I love this championship, and I'm really proud to follow it with you, Andre, till the first round to the end. I can just say see you soon to the next round, and also to the following ones in GDD. Andre, I leave you the word.
Yeah, we will have in 2 weeks the double race in the Nürburgring. We are heading back to Europe in Germany, and for the women championship, obviously, and then we will have the usual appointments with GDD tomorrow. There is a new championship that is starting on our second channel on GDD2, the DTM Championship by SRE, where me and the one above me here are racing, and it will be fun, I think. So follow us for it. Then on Wednesday we will have the team. No, we will have Sim and Joy. Team Championship is in the other week. We have Sim and Joy Championship, and then follow us on Friday where we start the new talk show with Roberta Lesca that will start this week here on GDD1.
Yeah, thank you, Andre. You are a human calendar right now. Congratulations
Yeah, I missed something
for that.
for sure.
And also in Italian, grazie a tutti per averci seguito, ragazzi. Ci rivediamo appunto domani con il DTM e tra 2 settimane sempre qui con il Women per il prossimo round. Andrea ci ha fatto già il riepilogo dei prossimi appuntamenti in anticipo, adesso l'ha fatto anche in inglese, quindi ci tengo, come ho detto in inglese, anche a ringraziare gli organizzatori, la regia, chi ha creato le grafiche che stiamo utilizzando, appunto GD Dynamics, veramente un lavoro eccezionale anche per le qualifiche, per rendere tutto il più comodo e utile possibile. Non possiamo fare altro che ringraziare anche gli organizzatori, ma soprattutto i piloti, le nostre ragazze che questa sera, come ho detto prima, in una giornata particolare come quella di San Valentino, poi c'è chi la festeggia e chi non la festeggia, ma in ogni caso abbiamo avuto la possibilità di commentare una gara incredibile, interessantissima per un campionato che, come ho detto dall'inizio, io adoro e supporterò, perché dal primo round sono sempre stato molto orgoglioso di poterlo commentare e continuerò a farlo fino alla fine. Andrea, io direi che possiamo congedare i nostri spettatori e ci vediamo al prossimo round, sempre qui su GDD. Buonanotte.
As a child, you would wait and watch from far away, but you always knew that you'd be